Tell me when to go. Tell me when to go. Tell me when to go. Tell me when to go.
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Men's Basketball Edition. And my guest for this week's show is none other than senior forward on the men's basketball team here at Menlo College, Henry Cornelious. Hank, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're very happy to finally get you on the show in your senior season. I know you've been wanting it for a long time.
No, I didn't get a chance to be on here last year. I was pretty upset.
I guess your teammates didn't like you enough, right?
No.
But now they do. Kind enough to get you on episode 7 of 2019.
Yes,
so let's start by talking a little bit about yourself. Last week, we got to learn a little bit about Colton Worth and his ab plan.
That part.
But he said that you weren't really on board with that. So do you have any workout advice to give to him or anyone else on the team?
See, I always get, since I'm the oldest, they all joke about me about my age. They call me uncle. I mean, Hank, I got that last year from Mikey Eggleton, but...
And it stuck.
Yeah, it stuck. Everybody, the coaches even call me Hank. Even the whole school calls me Hank.
I just called you Hank.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, so, I don't know. I love working out. I focus really on upper body, lower body, explosiveness. I have to stay big because, I got to battle all those monsters in the G-Sack. So,
of course. I feel like your upper body definitely a little bit more well-defined than at least Colton on the team.
Definitely. He got to get a little bit bigger. It's a couple guys on the team, they need to get a little bit bigger.
I feel like he secretly does skip upper body day.
He definitely does. He does abs. Him and John Payne and Jared Wall. Them are my guys. I love them, but they're all about the abs.
Do y'all even lift, bros? Come on. I know Henry does over there, that's for sure. Now, this week is Super Bowl week.
Oh, man.
And you're pumped because your team is in the Super Bowl. You are a New England Patriots fan.
Tom Brady.
Sure, let's go with that. How did you become a Pats fan, and what are your thoughts on the game?
Well, I became a Patriots fan the year that they were undefeated in the regular season. That's when they had.
Oh, so you're a bandwagon fan.
Yeah, well, that's when I really started to pay attention to football. I was always basketball, but that year I really was watching. I think it was I don't know who they played in the regular season, but that's when I found out Tom Brady was from around this area, and I was like, oh, okay. And I started following them, and then Randy Moss was on the team, of course. So I was a big Randy Moss fan and stuck with them, and Patriots been my team ever since. I like Cam Newton, of course.
Yeah.
I like a couple other players around the NFL, but my team is always the Patriots.
Yeah, now you're loyal to the Pats. They got the Rams in the Super Bowl this year.
It's going to be a tough game. Todd Gurley.
C.J. Anderson, don't forget about him.
C.J. he's a beast. And then, the quarterback, offense is real powerful. Defense is really good, but I think it's going to be a nail-biter, but I think the Patriots are going to pull it through. Tom Brady, he got tricks up his sleeves, definitely.
Oh, yeah, and there's never been, I don't believe, a New England Super Bowl with Tom Brady that has been more than a one-score game. And either way, so if history tells us anything, this is going to be one heck of a good football game.
I think he got one more trick up his sleeve.
As long as he doesn't drop a wide open pass like he did last year's Super Bowl, then maybe.
I was so upset when it happened live. I was just like, man, come on.
And now I'm bringing up all these harsh memories on Unrooted just to try and get under your skin.
We're still going for number 6, though. We're still going for it. Tom's going to get it.
I don't know who to root for, man. Because I don't like the Pats. But I'm on the fence about the Rams because I don't even think they should be in the Super Bowl.
I know the Saints should have won, but
I mean
the refs missed the call.
I mean, if this were a sports talk radio show, I would get into my whole shtick on that. But
I know. Yeah.
I'll save that for another time since we got some basketball to talk about.
Absolutely.
So let's get on with the Oaks now. Last week you go on the road and you get a couple of huge GSAC wins. The Key has been playing 40 minutes of good basketball, and you finally were able to do that this week. How were you able to put it all together?
Well, this last week, preparing up for the trip to play Life Pacific, and hope we were able to practice and prepare. First, we prepared for Life Pacific, and the game plan. The coaches did an amazing job of, finding ways to guard them and keys to success on the offense and defensive side. And the great thing was this week was controlling the tempo. Life, we was able to dictate the game, control the pace the way how we wanted to, both from the defensive end, getting stops. I think that's where we're improving at. Towards the beginning of the year, we kind of struggled with getting stops the way we wanted to. We would let teams get a little comfortable, and we wouldn't allow them to take tough contested shots. But I think throughout the course of the year, we have got better. We've gotten, a lot of stops, which led to us getting great offense. And, definitely on Saturday was one of our biggest defensive games. I felt like we controlled the pace on the defensive side of the floor. The coaches strategized really, really well. We threw different defenses at them. We went man and we went zone. We had Nemo tip the ball off. We planned that actually in shoot around. Our coach was like,
really?
We're gonna have, because usually I tip, do the tip ball, but our coach said Nemo was gonna do it. We was all shocked. We was like, wait, what's gonna happen? And then he was just like, we're just gonna go zone the first possession to see what they do. And play work the possession. We got a stop, and then we came back, got a score. So we was able to control the pace throughout the game, which built up our confidence and made us believe we can win this game. And, I don't think we ever once questioned, we're not going to win this game. I think we all believe, once we went down there, we can win both games. And it was a big win. Definitely, both games were.
And you were right there on the door with Hope when they were up here. You only lost by a couple.
Yeah.
And now this is the second year in a row you've gone down to Fullerton and won while the Royals have been ranked inside the top 20.
Yeah.
Why are you able to match up so well against them?
I think the coaches just do a great job with just figuring out ways to beat them. I think this year we mainly focused on the defensive side of the floor. They're a great offensive team. They can score inside, out. They got their bigs is really, really good, really crafty around the rim. So, and they really like to get the ball inside. So we tried to throw different things at them and kind of get them off guard. And mainly just started on the defensive side of the floor. Once we got stops and we got back-to-back stops, it kind of stopped their momentum, and it kind of gave us momentum, to kind of score on the offensive side of the floor. And then, offense, we just clicked. Everybody got it going. We trusted each other. We're playing more together on offense. And, it's different from last year, when we had, Ben Graham and Kalen, guys who were just leaders. But now it's this year, we have, scorers with myself, Najai, Charles, John Payne, Jared Wall, Jeremiah Testa, Ross Williams, and Corey. We're all scorers, and so now we're finally figuring out how to play with each other and trust each other and know that, hey, if I'm gonna give up this shot, I know you're gonna knock it down, or if I drive the ball, I'm gonna finish. You got to trust that I'm gonna make a good shot.
Yeah, so you're saying it with a smile on your face. How exciting is it really to be on a team with so many different people who you already mentioned who have the ability to go up and score?
It's great. This is probably the best offensive team I played with, in college. Guys who can just score it in different bunches. You got Charles. I know how he's gonna get his shots up. So I'm not worried. Najai, he does both. He's a great passer, excellent passer. I think it was during the game in the first half. He drove and he threw it in between the legs of number 55 for me, and I dunked it. But he's great. He can also score. He's great. He's a great handler. Jeremiah, he's just a pest on the defensive side. He'll guard the best guarding on offense. He's very aggressive. And then you got John Payne. What more can I say about him? He's just an animal on the offensive side of the floor. And then Ross, he's just defense. He just loves guarding full court. Especially in practice, he just loves getting after it. His intensity. And Corey, he's a future of GSAC. So.
He's looking pretty good in his freshman season.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Now, it doesn't get any easier for the Oaks this weekend. You have a couple of big matchups within the conference at home, including the Saturday game against Westmont. It's a huge rivalry game, and you guys always play them very close. So how are you able to get over the hump this time and finally get that elusive win against the Warriors?
Well, I think with the Warriors, they're very sound on the offensive side. They do a lot of movements, and for us, we just have to communicate and talk and be disciplined. They do a lot of backdoors, and we just have to control the pace on the defensive side, getting the contested shots, getting rebounds, make sure they're not getting offensive rebounds, and I think that's the key, is just controlling the tempo, especially on the defensive side. That's going to be key, because if we can limit them to taking tough contested shots that they don't want to take, they don't have that, they're not willing to take, then that works in our favor. But if they're taking shots that they're used to taking, then it's going to be a tough night.
Continue with what's been working well the last couple of games, and I think you have a pretty good shot at taking down Westmont. All right, Henry, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions, and you finally get to fire back at your teammates who love to answer with your name for these questions.
Don't get offended. Please don't.
Or get offended. It might be more fun that way, to be honest. Question number 1. Which teammate is most likely to shell out the most money for front row Super Bowl tickets?
Ooh. If I had to go with one, it would definitely be Ross. He just always tries to find a way, man. Ross, you're my guy, but yeah, he's going to find a way to get it.
What is Ross's team?
Ross's team?
I don't think I covered this when I talked to him
I think
earlier
his is Detroit Lions, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he doesn't ever have an issue about Super Bowl tickets because it's never happened, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Sorry, Ross.
They got a bright future.
Yeah. Do they really?
I think so.
Quarterback who's on the wrong side of 30 now, and I think he's past 30 finally. Stafford and
I think he's still good.
He's good, but
he's not elite. But
even though he gets paid like he's an elite quarterback, that's for sure. Question number 2: which teammate would most likely be seen rolling around in a Mercedes?
I'm gonna go. See, I'm not gonna go with my teammates. I'm gonna go with my coaches. And
okay.
I'm gonna go with Jameson Montgomery. You know, he's trying to act big time sometimes. So I can definitely see him trying to stunt in a little Mercedes.
I want to fire back with some joke at JMO for that, but I don't really think I have anything that comes to mind other than he wants to act big time, so he's gonna show up in a Mercedes, but really he's gonna drive a little tiny hybrid or something. Or whatever he drives, I don't know what it is. Then question number 3, which teammate would order the most random and strange sub from Subway?
Oh, yeah, okay. If I had to pick one, it would be Jeremiah Testa. He picks different foods that I'm like, does it go together? Like he'll mix food with desserts, He's very different. I'll say that he's my guy, but I can see him ordering something from Subway where I'm like, does that even taste good?
That certainly is bold.
Yeah.
The strangest thing I've ever seen before at a Subway was someone who was in front of me in line, walked in and said, all right, now bear with me. I'm gonna have you make the sandwich in a different way or a different order than you normally would.
Yeah.
And then the person said, there's a method to my madness. Like what? So
sounds like that's something Jeremiah would do.
Yeah, like the first thing that I put on was the mustard first, and then you go to some type of meat and then a veggie and then back to a meat. And it's like, what are you doing? Just put it all in the sandwich. There's a method to my madness, believe me. And I bet Jeremiah is probably, you're right, on the same page with that.
Very sound. He's very picky. I gotta have this, and this.
I wonder if he comes up with fake names for what ham is called.
Yeah, he has a way.
I want the underbelly of the.
And he says it so proper.
Of the large and voluptuous pink pig.
Yep, that's him.
That would be.
That's him.
Yeah, that's ham, Jeremiah. Just in case you were wondering. Henry, thanks for joining me on the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And folks, the men's basketball team, they're at home this weekend. They take on Westmont College on Saturday afternoon. That's February 2nd inside Haynes Prim Pavilion. Tip-off of the men's game is at 4 o'clock. It will come about 20 minutes following the conclusion of the women's basketball contest. If you can't make it out, join me, Brian Brownfield, for the call of the game on the Menlo College Sports Network.
Yes, please make it.
Please make it, though. I would actually prefer you to make it. Exactly, because it's going to be a huge game against Westmont.
That's what we need.
#Pack the Prim.
Yep.
We invite you to tune into next week's episode of Unrooted Men's Basketball Edition when Henry Cornelious will select the next interviewee by me right here on the show.
You never know with me.
You never know, although you're running out of options on the team because we're getting late in the season, so a lot of people have been chosen. So have fun roasting someone. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.
Tell me when to go. Tell me when to go.